So, hello and welcome to Knowledge Cafe, a session where we have inspiring seniors who share their knowledge to motivate and inspire others and share their wisdom about various special subjects. And today we have a special guest, Mr. TPA Narayanan, who is a chartered accountant and who has also been a CFO, who has risen in the corporate world to the level of CFO. And he is also chosen the path, what is now known as FIRE, financially independent, retire early, right? So I'm sure you will inspire many people to retire early, not just the seniors. So we are very fortunate to have your knowledge and expertise available to our senior citizens, senior members, who finance is one concern we never leave off, right? From the time that we become a child with a pocket money, limited pocket money, to a senior who's wanting to protect assets, protect savings, have livelihood expenses, keep some kitty for the for the rainy day, so called. So we are very happy to have your happy to have you on our session, on our podcast, and I believe that you all already are teaching, giving some financial tips to many friends. So we thought, why not we record it and we make it available to many people. And I understand you teach college children on financial management in some of the colleges. So welcome to the podcast, Mr. Narayanan.
Thank you.
And it's our pleasure to have you here. Let's start with something, like did you always want to be a chartered accountant or it just happened some way? Let's start with that.
Okay, Mati, first of all, thanks for having me here. Um, I would like to take this opportunity to contribute to our community in whichever way I can.
Thank you.
So first thing is that I'll be switching between English and Hindi. I hope that's okay.
Absolutely fine.
So first off, I never intended to be a chartered accountant. Okay.
क्या बनना चाहते थे?
मुझे एक्चुअली होटल मैनेजमेंट में बहुत शौक था.
Yes, पर्सनालिटी से भी लगता है होटल में अच्छे लगते हैं.
होटल मैनेजमेंट में शौक था, तो but I got good marks in 12th class. तो when I got good marks, घर में क्या होता है कि मेरी सिस्टर में से 4 साल बड़ी है, तो उसको समझ ज्यादा थी उस टाइम में.
So she decided.
She said कुछ नहीं, तो होटल मैनेजमेंट वगैरह नहीं करेगा तो CA करेगा, because and also the choice was driven by like our two of my uncles were chartered accountants. My cousin brother was doing CA, and a couple of my cousin brothers younger to me were planning to do CA.
So पूरी family में?
Yeah, काफी CAs हैं, तो इसीलिए it was basically driven by my two chachas who were already chartered accountants. तो इसीलिए क्या है कि the choice became
very brainy subject, no? Chartered accountant का जो मैंने सुना कि जो result रहता है is very in percentage, few percentage points.
It used to be like that some years back, but
so
now
did you have to take many attempts?
No, I would say not many attempts, but I didn't. To be very frank, I didn't clear it the first attempt because it's quite a tough subject. Sometimes what happens is that when you write the exams, you feel that you've done very well. It's a professional examination, so you feel you've done very well. But when the marks come, it is totally surprising to you. So it's an exam.
So I guess that जो अभी chartered accountancy का अभी दे रहे हैं बच्चे, the youngsters were, they should get disheartened by having to.
No. इसमें but one thing is there. इसमें the results are dictated by your efforts. उसमें कोई luck वाली बात ज़्यादा होता नहीं है इसमें.
Okay.
And if you put in a lot of hard work, I've seen people clearing. There is absolutely no problem. There will be no problem in this course even in the future if you're willing to study well and prepare well for your exams. I don't think so. So just to answer your question, it's a no basically. I didn't want to become a chartered accountant, but my sister.
But having become one, you have enjoyed, I believe, because you wouldn't have risen so much in the corporate ladder.
I can't. You cannot speculate on that because life is like that. But what I do really feel is that in a particular line, if you are sincere and hardworking, any line you can grow. But I'm thankful to my parents and also my seniors who have guided me over the years, and they have, told me what needs to be done, and they've been patient with me, which has helped me to rise in the career.
You decided to retire early, right?
Mm-hmm.
इतना जल्दी retirement क्यों लिया?
See, Reason for retiring early was,
Like you had already accumulated enough wealth?
That is one of the reasons, but that is not the only reason. कई बार क्या होता है कि हमारा profession is very unforgiving. In the sense
Okay.
that आपको जो है ना, like I am very fond of saying, many a times I've seen my son in a horizontal position rather than a vertical position because ऑफिस को 7 साढ़े 7 बजे निकल जाते थे, रात को 9 बजे 10 बजे लेट आ रहे हैं और ऑडिट हो रहा है तो लेट आ रहे हैं हम लोग. तो we've seen our sons growing like our children growing like that. So after a certain stage, it becomes difficult.
So it's the
So
strenuous long hours and punishing routine.
punishing routine and travel. Nowadays, the travel part of it has become so. Earlier, it was not so bad. Now it's become. I remember that song from the Hindi song Mausam. You remember that song?
Right.
Sung by Bhupinder Kumar. Dil ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के हाथ दिन.
So मुझे लगता है आपका singing was also the reason you quit the job.
Yeah,
To
that
get
might
some
be
time.
get some time to do that. Okay, and somehow the singing, not the professional part of it, the singing was there. Maybe somewhere in the genes it was hidden because my grandfather also used to sing, I believe. So वो भी था, and also ये था कि when you are financially secure, when you feel that you can,
Yes.
you can,
You can be your own boss.
you be your own boss. Then it's then you think like यार बहुत हो गया अभी. We don't want to maintain that 8 to 8 routine. We don't want to maintain.
Yes.
We want to take it easy. That was the idea basically.
And I think we are fortunate, that only few people are fortunate, I would say.
Mhm.
Otherwise, most of us have to work, till the time of our retirement so that, we can have some savings and some retirement funds.
Correct.
It's a fortunate position to be in. Tell me, before I move on to the other area, during all this corporate career of 30, 3 decades plus, any challenging moment or let's say any outstanding achievement that you could look back, okay, this was really great what I did?
One of our assignments, we had to get a loan from the World Bank. That company was, I wouldn't like to name it, but that company was in the polluting industry. Okay. So we had to get a loan from the World Bank, and World Bank is very particular about.
Absolutely.
So we had to get but that company was reasonably profitable, and it was, it had to put up a power plant as an adjunct to the main factory.
Mhm.
So that loan and all those terms and conditions were negotiated, but the grantor of the loan were World Bank, and their conditions are so onerous, environment, this, that. So that was, I feel, we got a loan of about 20 to $25 million. We got a loan for putting up a power plant. So that was, I would say, as a very good experience and a big achievement.
Learning experience.
Learning experience for me. Yeah, found that.
So, like finance, most of us, finance also involves maths, right?
Yeah.
And so maths is always scary, and finance becomes a little boring too.
Mm-hmm.
So tough plus boring, it's a very difficult combination. How do you, when you're teaching these young students in the colleges, how do you make it interesting for them?
See, there are two parts of finance that I teach to the
वो
students.
सोते नहीं क्लास में?
नहीं, क्लास में सोते हैं. थियोरी सब्जेक्ट्स के लिए जो है नींद तो आती है. But what I do is that when I I always go with a presentation to my classes. That means
Okay.
मतलब the focus is there. नहीं तो मैं कुछ भी बोलता रहूँगा, बच्चे सुनेंगे नहीं सुनेंगे, I lose them totally.
Sure.
One thing I do is that I bring a presentation. And second thing, since I'm teaching the PGDM students, and they are not kids, they are grown up men in their own right. And the second thing that I do is that I bring the live world example. कई बार क्या होता है कि the way we look at it, the most of the books have become outdated now.
Yes.
So
that's a big challenge.
That's
Everything
very big
becomes outdated so fast.
So fast. So I not only do I have to consult the books for the topics to be taught. What I do is that I look at almost all the AI tools available. Gemini, ChatGPT, whatever.
So you're very good at these tools?
No, it's very simple to use,
Mm.
I'm a user only.
Yeah.
So it's very simple to use. So what I do is that I make my presentation based on the topics in the books. Then I look at examples and further clarifications from ChatGPT, Gemini, and the Microsoft tool. I'm not able to remember what it is. So I use all these tools. Now you have the DeepSeek also from the Chinese
Yeah.
Chinese AI tool.
I haven't used that as yet.
I have logged in, but have not started using it actually. But these tools are there to make the presentation much more interesting and contemporary.
Okay.
So it's very important to give them
Relevant.
contemporary example. For example, I cannot talk to the students about the old age industries like Tata Steel, Tata. They'll not be interested in examples there. You have to talk to them about Zomato, Swiggy, Paytm and all. Then they can relate to the teaching much better.
Absolutely.
That's all. No?
And I think that's fair enough because they would be having most of the job opportunities are going to come from here.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So it's
correct.
good to be aware of the contemporary business things. If let's say that if there is the difference of approach between the young 20-year-old and a 60-year-old plus senior citizen, if you give them 1 lakh today, both of them will be saving it or using it very differently.
Correct.
They themselves on their own. But what would you advise a 20-year-old versus a 60-year-old?
I would say, it depends on the risk bearing capacity of the person. Of course, a 60 or a 70-year-old or a 65-year-old, his risk bearing capacity is very limited. A 20-year-old's risk bearing capacity is much higher. So I would suggest a 20-year-old, to systematically invest in the market, stock markets, because that's what is going to give you returns which can beat inflation. Because inflation is the biggest thing which is eating into our savings. If you think that by investing in an FD where you get 6.5, maximum you get 6.5%, the inflation itself is about 6.5% or so. So what happens is that actually inflation is eating into your money.
Income tax कटने के बाद तो वो less than inflation.
Less than inflation हो जाता है. Actually you're losing money. So 20-year-old has got a more of a risk bearing capacity, and 20-year-old can make mistakes. Okay. कल को 1 लाख उसने lose भी कर दिया, but the experience he has gained in losing the money कि मुझे ये नहीं करना है. See market में ये होता है कि stock market investment में ये होता है कि what you should not do that you should learn. And those mistakes if you do early in the career, then you don't repeat those mistakes at any time. For example, in my case, when I started investing at the age of 35 or so, I was a little bit late. I started in 35. I made a lot of mistakes. I used to depend on tips, ye kar diya, wo kar diya. Those things were
not the hardcore research.
Not the hardcore research, not the. See, you have to depend on yourself only. Okay, so you cannot depend on anybody. Everybody is there in the market for money. Okay, absolutely. A guy who's giving you the tip, he wants to earn money. Okay, everybody is there in the
money attracts money. No?
Correct. So what happens was, I would say for a young 20-year-old, what I would say is that invest this money in the market gradually over a period of time, so that you ride the market cycles.
And how about the 60-year-old?
60-year-old को तो मैं ये कहूँगा कि मतलब make about put immediately something in the FD, bank FD or something like that, and just to understand a little bit about finance, maybe invest about 20% or so in the markets to understand what it is. Okay, but I'm assuming that he's 60-year-old, he knows about the market a little bit, because
without knowledge one should not.
Which one, it is better not to approach the market without knowledge. Okay, and the fact is that
even SIPs are not SIP.
SIPs, the problem right now is what's happening right now.
Mutual funds.
Last 6 months, the SIPs have become very, because once you get tagged on to a SIP, you have to contribute the money. Am I right? But most of the funds have lost value like anything. So SIP is binding you to a particular fund, which I wouldn't advise to anybody. Okay. So what happens is that I would say, I would say to a 60-year-old is that invest about 80% of your money in FDs or recurring deposit or something, which gives you
even postal savings. They give you very good return.
They give 50 basis points more,
Yeah.
So even savings bank account, 8.5. Postal savings, recurring deposit of post office is good. Okay. Lump sum money, you put it post office savings bank account, you put it, you get good amount of money, you get better than the normal savings bank account. Even that is good. So they can think of all these options. But 60-year-old who doesn't have exposure to the markets, I wouldn't advise him to put his 1 lakh rupees in the market, because most likely he's likely to lose the money. Okay.
So that brings me to the next question. Like, there are many myths about savings and investments. Sorry, and there are myths and then there are mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So what is a common mistake which everyone should avoid.
Mhm.
You said no that it is more important for you not to know what not to do, right?
Mhm.
So, what is the mistake? What people should be taking care of, especially for seniors?
When you talk about senior particularly, I expect that seniors would have, if not in finance, they would have years of experience in life at least. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. So what happens is that uh, with seniors, I would say that first thing you should avoid in investments is impulsiveness. Okay. Impulses always,
और आजकल इतने scams आ रहे हैं.
इतने scams are in India. So impulsiveness, that will drag you down. See, market will go up, market will go down. Okay, that's a cycle. Market will. For the past 3 years, the markets have been going up like anything. For the past 3-4 months, the FIs have started withdrawing money from the Indian market. The market has started going down. Okay, but this will turn. It is always a cycle. So I would, in investment world, if you are impulsive and you are this one, it will definitely you lose money. But if you're a little bit, you have staying power. No, that is how you. That important thing is, I would say, impulsiveness is the most important thing which you should.
So not to get attracted by too rosy a picture.
Too rosy a
Right?
picture.
That would be impulsiveness.
Number one. Number one. Number two is, suddenly you find that your investments are not, they were making 30-40% return because the market upturned. Suddenly they start making 5 to 10% return. Then you should not go ahead and sell them.
Oh, okay.
And I would suggest the seniors is that if they want to really get exposure to the markets, let them look at only blue chip companies, which are, I can say, like you asked about the earlier question, 1 lakh rupees, 20% they can get market exposure to companies which are in either in BSE Sensex 30 Sensex index.
That's
or
a
BSE.
safe thing.
Absolutely safe. Those are very strong companies.
Okay. So I think the key takeaways that one should give some part of the savings to the market instruments.
Correct.
And then look for other options. The beyond the market instruments is the options like FDs and
FDs
postal.
and postal is one of the very good options which I've suggested, which gives about savings bank also gives about 50 basis points more interest, and recurring deposit they have fixed deposit which gives you better rate of interest.
Okay. So these are some simple rules that all of us can follow.
Correct.
Even youngsters, but in case of youngsters, the proportion will be reversed.
Yeah, that's correct. You see, there is a simple maxim in the industry. It's a rule of thumb. It is no scientific. This one, they say that normally you should let's suppose you should deduct you have a figure of 100. From that 100, you deduct your age. Okay. Balance amount you invest into the markets. That means risky instruments. So if you're 20, you can put 80% of your money in risky instruments.
So is mutual fund a risky instrument?
Mutual fund is also to some extent risky because the reason is that, there's, for example, the mutual fund which was giving 30-35% return, now it started giving 5-10% returns. Those sectors which were doing very well about a year back, those sectors have started giving very bad returns right now. It's risky in the sense that you may not lose the full money, but it is risky in the sense that you may not get the returns which you are expected. Okay. So you might get even lower than bank FD or something like that.
Okay.
So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. So the myth that mutual funds are safe is not so true after all. It is
safe to some extent.
Safer to the direct shares.
Yeah, safer to the direct shares. But having said that, but don't like they say, all market instruments are subject to market risk.
How about bonds?
Bonds are also like it's like
debt
instruments, Malti, are good, but debt instruments also have a probability of default. See, something might offer you, some company, their debt instruments may offer you 10.5, 11% return. But you put the money there. Maybe 1 year down the line, the company closes down or company doesn't pay the interest of the principal to you. The company is doing so badly. Then what do you do? Okay. So to some extent, I would say debt instrument give you better returns, but you have to be careful. The chances of default are there also. So one of the issues which senior citizens, most senior people, struggle with is that if they don't have sufficient retirement kitty, let's say, and so how do they plan for their retirement funds? Like how do they have a smooth? In India, we don't have. In most of the seniors, I think they have been said to be asset rich and cash poor. Correct.
Many,
Correct.
from our parents to
Correct,
now,
correct.
because real estate has been, is part of the investment strategy for the older generation. Gold was also another strategy for older generation. But those don't give you cash for day-to-day living, right? So how can they, those in those circumstances, what advice you would give to people who are asset rich and cash poor?
What I would suggest to those people is that there is an investment. There is also one more myth regarding investment. What has been shattered in the last myth, which has been shattered in the last 20-25 years, is that real estate is an asset actually. See, real estate is for living. Is for living. It doesn't have any value otherwise. Okay, there's no point in building. Having 2-3 houses here and there and all those things. It's not an asset because it cannot give you the money when you want
Is
it.
this not a part of a de-risking strategy?
Uh,
Like
it
to
is
have
it is
another,
it is it is a part of de-risking strategy, but I would always, as a finance person, seeing the current trend, the latest, if you look at the younger generation, they are not interested in real estate at all.
या
They
उनको तो
say,
क्योंकि उनका जॉब ही कभी इधर कभी उधर,
Correct,
कभी बैंगलोर
correct,
में कभी मुंबई में
करेक्ट
कभी
करेक्ट
दिल्ली
वो
में.
होता है नंबर वन. नंबर टू क्या होता है, उनका जो है ना, दे आर मच मोर प्रैक्टिकल देन अस. हमारा क्या होता था, जब वो कर रहे थे, पढ़ रहे थे या नौकरी कर रहे थे, यार पैसा कमाना है, हाउसिंग लोन लेना है, उसमें जो है अपने को डिडक्शन मिलेगा, वो करना है.
Let's say that I think today's generation already has a safety net built
Correct.
by us,
Correct.
our generation.
But not to discount the intelligence of this one. See, they don't care for what we have accumulated. To be very frank, they don't care for that. आप जितना भी accumulate करके जाओगे,
I beg to differ. I think they would definitely advantage from our
advantage होता है, but जितना आप सोचते हो ना उतना नहीं होता.
शायद. That I agree. That I agree.
तो
Yes.
इसमें क्या होता है मालती, इसमें ना इनका क्या होता है कि इनका दिस प्रेजेंट जनरेशन का एटीट्यूड इज राइट. वो कहते हैं यार मैं 30,000 रुपये में रेंट देता हूँ, ठीक है ना, 30,000 रुपये रेंट देता हूँ, उसके बदले मैं 2.5-3 करोड़ का या 2.5 करोड़ का, 1-1.5 करोड़ का, 2 करोड़ का घर लेने का फायदा
It's just tying the money.
Correct, just tying the money, which their logic is very correct, which we never thought of it about 30-35 years back when we bought the real
The
estate.
exposure is very different.
Yeah, that's correct.
So coming back to the point of that raising cash for the seniors who are
Yeah.
asset, I think
See, what can be done? Yeah, what can be done is that Malti, you see, one of the options which the banks have come out is the reverse mortgage.
Yes, वो popular
reverse-
क्यों नहीं है यार?
I don't know because मैंने इतना cases, you're right, it's not very popular. मैंने ये देखा है कि मतलब lot of I think it's a question which you need to ask the bankers because मैंने भी इतना देखा नहीं है case.
Is maybe the emotional attachment to the
हो
property?
सकता है. But what I can suggest this one is that senior citizens is that, for example, if they have if they have multiple houses, asset rich but cash poor, multiple houses, try to dispose of this one because from two perspectives. One is, you can multiple houses, if you dispose of, you will have cash with you, disposable cash with you. Number one.
Okay.
Number two क्या होता है कि आपके पास उससे क्या है, जो कैश जो आता है, you can invest it much more judiciously to get judiciously
The
to get
running expenses.
running expenditure. Number one. Number two, those assets which are not earning income. For example, real estate might be a good investment because it's giving you a good rent. It might be a good investment.
If it is.
If it is. But what I'm saying is that real estate may, a lot of the botherations are there. And second thing I would tell them is that, in their house, and each and every household in India has got gold. Gold तो सभी के पास होता है. जिस आदमी ने 30-40 साल काम किया है, या तो उसके पास FD बैंक में पैसा होगा या कुछ ना कुछ गोल्ड तो होगा.
Correct.
I would suggest to monetize the gold and all those things, sell it off, monetize the gold, get the money. And but what I definitely feel is that जहाँ जिस घर में आप रहते हो, उससे ज्यादा घर रखने की जरूरत नहीं है मेरे हिसाब से. That's what
But
my
one of
feeling
the
is.
worry about monetizing these assets in the minds of seniors is that, though you said children don't bother, but there may be children who may like to, get that cash or get that, money.
Mhm.
So an asset has a tied value, which I mean, it's a very difficult, tricky question and situation. There are no easy answers. I agree.
Correct.
But I feel that banks should be making reverse more easily accessible to seniors.
Correct,
Right?
I agree.
At a policy level, the government should be thinking about it.
Correct, I agree. 100% I agree.
So there is an emotional attachment to gold and property, but there is also an emotional attachment to money. हम सोचते हैं पैसा होगा तो हम बहुत खुश होंगे. So as a financial expert, what do you think कि पैसा और happiness connected है?
पैसा and happiness connected नहीं है. They are not connected at all. जितना भी पैसा आएगा, it's not necessary. Basically it's a mindset. But आपके पास retirement के time में आपके पास पैसा होगा, तो आपको हाथ किसी के पास फैलाने की जरूरत नहीं है. That's very important.
To that extent, it is
to retain your self respect. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two क्या होता है कि आप जब आपके पास पैसा होता है, you get after retirement you have a lot of time. Okay. And आज के डेट में अगर आप देखोगे, about 30-35 years back, the average longevity was only 55.
Yeah.
आज जो है average longevity about 65, 70 or
70
even
plus.
70 plus.
70
plus है. The moment you turn 60, okay, 60 हो जाते हो, 60 हो जाते हो, number of illnesses keep coming. Okay, कुछ ना कुछ तो आता ही है, blood pressure हो गया, sugar हो गया, ये हो गया, वो हो गया. मतलब छोटे मोटे illness तो आते ही हैं. Blood pressure and sugar I won't classify as छोटे मोटे illness, but they are
they're chronic.
They are chronic diseases. You'll have to get medical help, and medical has become
expenses,
very expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, what I would this one is that so what I would tell them is that they have to sorry, what was the question again? Can you repeat it?
So it was the money and happiness.
Yeah, and sorry, I just lost track. Okay.
It's
so
okay.
So happiness cannot be related, but money and happiness cannot be related. But having said that, it's important to retain your self-respect.
मुझे base level
का पैसा होना जरूरी है. But you should have enough money to enjoy life also, no? पहले आपके पास time नहीं था. You see, like my चाचा जी, who is himself a chartered accountant, he used to say, life में ना वो time, he used to say, talk about time, energy and money. These are three factors in life. When you are young, you have time and energy, but you don't have money. है ना? Middle age में क्या होता है? You have time, you have energy and money, but you don't have time. आप नौकरी कर रहे हो, काम कर रहे हो. Old age में क्या होता है? Money and time होता है, but energy नहीं होता जाने का, है ना? तो क्या होता है कि ऐसा certain stage क्या होता है कि आपको to enjoy life, you need to have money, okay? And also to take care of your medical expenses, you need to have money. Important thing is you have to when you're approaching a senior citizenship stage, it's very important that you have enough money, not for a happiness perspective, but from the perspective of being self-sufficient.
That's absolutely, I think, correct. That a delicate balance होना चाहिए.
Correct.
I think obsession with money will not bring us happiness. But then basics have to be taken care of. And as of now, what you said is also about health insurance or health.
Correct.
Something about health, kitty to look after the health expenses.
See, obsession, I would say obsession is money, with money is good till a certain period of time. Then उसके बाद the other priorities take
control. फिर वो habit हो जाता है ना?
Habit होता है, वो habit चले भी जाता है actually, ठीक है ना? Because a certain stage के बाद obsession with money will not get you anywhere.
Okay. So then, what is one, obsession will not take you anywhere. But about financial habits, let's say, what habit you would swear by that has, done you good and which you will swear by that everyone should have this financial habit. एक healthy habits होती हैं हमारी healthy aging की. Financial health के लिए, what is one habit that one should be looking at?
See, financial habit I would say is saving is important, but investment is even more important.
Okay.
कई लोग save करते हैं.
The saved money, where it is invested.
Yeah, saving is important. You have to have a lifestyle where you can save money. That's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, whatever money you have, that has to be invested. Okay. When you're at the early stages of career, I know everybody will make investment mistakes. Okay. See, हम सबको क्या होता है कि we all have to be finance managers for our own funds. Nobody is going to manage it for us. We can take care of our own we can take self-interest, we can take care of it. Okay. So क्या होता है कि saving is important. You need to have a lifestyle where you can save money. And important thing is, see, money, there is a time value of money. If you keep money in a savings bank account, you will get about 3.5-4% rate of interest. Important thing is you have to invest that money. Looking at the time value of money, you have to invest that money. So I would look at two things. One is saving, the other is investment of that money on a regular basis. सी होता क्या है, एक महीने किया, 6 महीने इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं किया, उसके बाद फिर सेव किया, फिर इन्वेस्ट किया, it doesn't make sense. You have to make it a habit again. Every month I have to save this much money. I have to make investment. So that's what will get you. Then the compounding effect comes into the picture.
Sure. So there is no magic wand or magic word regarding finance. ये complex matter है. इसको हम like I don't think that there are products in the market or the or the advertising or awareness which is targeted at seniors. सारे जो investment के videos हैं वो youngsters के लिए. Why there aren't any consultants, financial consultants for senior citizens? ये एक market नहीं है. This is a big market in India, I think, seniors.
Everything revolves around money. Okay. The brokers will.
Who has the money?
Yeah, who has the money? See, normally senior citizens का attitude जो है conservative ही होता है. For example, if a senior citizen has not invested in the markets, you cannot expect him after the age of 60 to invest in the markets because he will say, यार मुझे इसके बारे में कुछ पता नहीं, I'm likely to lose the money. तो वो नहीं करते. And these people, the people who are financial intermediaries, like brokers, like bank managers and all those people, they target the young people from where they can get more and more business.
And not only business, I think the churning of money,
correct,
is more with the younger population than with the seniors, because seniors feel more safe with certain types and they stay stuck with that.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. So, like if you were to reverse your life experience and you were to look back when you were, let's say, 20 or 30, what is it that you would advise that 20-year-old Narayanan or a 30-year-old Narayanan than what you actually did at that time?
Like everybody else, 20-30s में सभी impulsive होते हैं.
So that's again we come back to the impulsive.
Yeah, impulsiveness.
Did you marry impulsively? आपके marriage में impulse से हो?
Arranged था मेरा marriage.
That's your parents.
Marriage is always impulsive.
Marriage में आपको parents ने save कर लिया impulsiveness.
Parents, yeah, that's right. नहीं, उन्होंने actually of course my father was not there at that time. My mother was alive. She only and it was marriage was. I wouldn't say impulsive, emotional.
No, that was just a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but उसमें क्या होता है कि I would say that I could have been less impulsive. Okay. Over the last 30 to 40 years, whatever I have gained, that is, and being impulsive and making mistakes has taught me not to make those mistakes again. What I did 20, 25 years, 30 years back or 40 years back, I wouldn't do those. I wouldn't dream of making those mistakes now. That's why I would say that, I'm a reasonably, successful, and I like you said, the fire moment, retire early, So that's how that has been possible because I have made mistakes early in the career. Like I say, everybody make mistakes early in the career, then you can recoup the losses. But if you make mistakes later in the career, very difficult to recover. So,
like in every, these days, social media has become a big source of education or miseducation, information or misinformation. Are there any books or safe like educational material which will be very useful for our senior citizens to watch on a regular basis and be educated without an agenda by the person who's creating it? Would there be any such, like there are so many TV channels, there are so many books, there are so many YouTube channels, like every way there is so much of, let's say, a carpet bombing of the information. How to sift what is the right advice? Because we are speaking today and it's generic advice, right? They would need specific advice. How they can, go about that?
Yeah, but if you look at the social media, there are a lot of people who are, like very genuine, advisors. There are like videos made by those people.
Yeah.
So there are. It is named Pogana. Just names the product.
Yeah.
Bhuvana gave me the reference to that guy. I saw his videos. It was very, very. There are, there are financial advisors in this one who don't have any strings attached to their advice, who are very good. You need to go through those to find out who they are, number one. Number two is when you look at the books as such, finance has evolved, but not the methodology of finance has evolved, but the knowledge is the same. If you look at the books, there are for beginners there are some good books. Like you have there's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. It was written by somebody called as Glaser. It's a very old book, 60-year-old book. It talks about a lot of financial wisdom. Okay, that's very good. Okay, it doesn't talk about stock markets or anything of that sort, but it's a then you have Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That's a very good book for beginners. Then for advanced people, there are lots and lots of books you have. You have the strategies of the Benjamin Graham, who was the this one of you know who was the who has written Intelligent Investors. But for beginners, if you want to understand a little bit about finance, these two books will give you a lot of. At least they'll give you the financial awareness, what you should do, what you should not do.
Silver economy is becoming very big. We are aging as a society, as a country. The world is also aging. And the people who are now entering the senior citizen category are, let's say, healthier, more experienced, educated, and wealthier. So I think it hasn't perhaps struck the financial wizards that to look at this segment of population as a good clientele to kind of there are of course few people who manage HNIs, and HNIs could be seniors, could be others also. But as a segment, I'm sure if somebody sees this podcast, would definitely be, I think, should be thinking seriously about creating a specific channel for senior citizens, silver economy, as you say.
What can be done is that though generally the advice and the channels are mostly for young people, younger people, but you cannot miss some of the advice which is given, which is applicable
to everyone.
To everyone.
Okay.
To younger, to even people who are not working, who have not started their career, to people who have already retired also. So you have to cull out that particular thing, that particular advice from what they say. You have to cull out. So, for example, it might be a general idea, which is being given by them, but it may be applicable to you. Let's suppose if you are already an investor, that general idea might be applicable to younger people. But if you listen to that, you can apply it to your own situation in a different way.
Yeah. But finance ke, the challenge, we had Dr. Rakshit earlier, who made us aware about cyber scams, and seniors are also prone to it, and with the deep fake voice calls and whatever is happening, the exploitation of digital arrest, so-called digital arrest. The issue is that of faith is also eroding. Faith is also eroding to trust a person with with your hard-earned savings, and that the trust is not there, and yet scamsters are able to like breach that wall. And then any experience, anyone in your knowledge circle who who got in the senior citizen category, who got impacted by such digital arrest or scam, or what would be your message to other people?
No, I've heard of few of my friends. In my case, also I have received phone call from the scammers. It was normal that courier scam.
Yes, of course.
बाहर से
Every 3 months the scam का pattern change
हो जाता है. Call करके बोलते हैं कि but we are financially, and so many news has come in, and they send you the packages with your name and address and all those things very nicely. They take a photograph and send it to you. The simple thing I told that guy is that आप एक काम करो, मेरे customs में बॉम्बे में, the guy said we need about 40,000 rupees to clear it in the customs. आपका माल फंस गया customs. तो I said नहीं, आप सारे shipping bill documents वगैरह मुझे भेज दो, मेरा customs agent है, उससे मैं clear करवा दूँगा. So there ended the matter actually. There ended. So you have to be, what happens is that, I have a very simple rule, for me, it has worked for me. Normally, any number which I don't recognize, I don't pick up actually.
Okay.
So that has helped me a lot. That has helped me, take away a lot of spam calls. I don't pick up the calls at all. As a courtesy, I send them an SMS saying that, I'm busy
What
right
is
now.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm busy right now. If you have something important to discuss, normally the scamsters or the people who
Of
are
course.
they never send you the reply to your message. Okay, so I have got back to them. But important people who want to contact me desperately for something or other, they would respond.
That's a good tip. I think that's a good tip to send a courtesy message. You would,
correct.
You would be able
you
to
have the
kind of-
template available. No, immediately bhej do unko कि I'm busy right now. If there is something, please SMS me. I'll get back to you. वो बता दिया तो that's you're actually you are meeting the courtesy norms also actually.
Sure. जब हम पहले बात कर रहे थे, you said you are a big fan of Bollywood songs and movies. If you think your life was a Bollywood movie, उसका नाम क्या होगा?
It's a very tough question. It would have been an art movie.
Okay.
It would have been an
art movie.
I would say nothing comes to my mind. As such, nothing comes to my mind. It would have been a very. I would say it would have been a very. It's been a very. I would say.
Art movie में भी वो अमोल पालेकर होगा या स्मिता पाटिल वाली मूवी होगी?
वो अमोल पालेकर वाला ही होगा. अमोल पालेकर वाला होगा. नहीं, Amol Palekar has made a lot of very good movies.
Of course.
Very good movies.
Yes, of course.
So I would say it will be more of Amol Palekar type of movies it would have been. But a little bit more toned down version of Amol Palekar movie. Because nothing extraordinary, We are, we are ordinary middle class.
Okay.
कमा रहे हैं, family पाल रहे हैं. We are trying. We had struggled in our career and we have reached a certain level we had reached and we have built up our retirement kitty and all based on how many years we have worked. So it would have been a I'm sure if a movie had been made, nobody would have seen that movie. It would have been a total flop. It would have been a total flop.
Okay. No, I'm sure it would not be that much of a total flop for two reasons. Every movie is actually based on some life, right?
Correct.
हर बंदे की life एक story है, right?
Yeah.
The way you tell it, the way you narrate it, the way you make it is what makes a difference, right?
Correct.
Sometimes very good, stories are not made into good movies, and sometimes a very casual story could be a very good movie. So I wouldn't, say कि ये वो बहुत boring movie होता है. You were telling me earlier that you go for trekking. So what do you do to stay fit like this? बिल्कुल अमिताभ बच्चन जैसा personality.
See, क्या होता है कि I have been just tell you about my personal.
और आपने बताया भी था कि विजय आपका नाम था.
विजय. तो क्या है कि मैं मतलब I was a cricket enthusiast right from my teen years. I've been playing cricket till about 2007. I played cricket. I played in Delhi.
Till 2007.
2007 तक खेला हुआ मैंने, and I played in Delhi C Division League also. I played.
Okay.
So that was some time back, but I have played till late 80s. I played in Delhi C Division. Then उसके बाद I played cricket at the club level till about 2007 or so. Then उसके बाद क्या है कि then I was thinking how do I keep myself fit, because by that time I was diagnosed, because it's a hereditary thing, like I was diagnosed as a diabetic. Then the question came, how do I keep myself fit? Then I started going to the gym. Actually, I have been going to the gym almost for 25-30 years now. So that's how I keep myself fit. I keep trying to follow that routine to keep myself fit. That's how I've managed to.
Trekking is
trekking
it very
is it is.
You
don't enjoy trekking if you're not physically fit. You don't venture to do that, because आप अगर trekking करोगे, if you're not physically fit, then either the trek manager will send you back, और आप खुद ही जाकर कहोगे कि मेरे बस की बात नहीं, मैं जा रही हूँ वापस, ठीक है ना? That's what it happens. So if you want to enjoy the trek, you have to be absolutely physically fit. So having said that, special preparation क्या होता है before the trek? The organization with whom I go, they ask you to cover, for 50 plus, they ask you to cover 5 kilometers in 40 minutes.
Oh,
for youngsters, for 45 minutes.
Okay.
For youngsters, it's 35 minutes, 5 kilometers. So fortunately, I have been reasonably fit in the sense that I'm able to do 5 kilometers in 35 minutes. I'm able to do. So that
I think I can't do it even in 50 minutes.
Maybe you'll be able to do it in about 55
minutes.
Brisk walking you need to do.
Yeah.
So which requires
that will be my optimum, I guess.
Yeah. which requires that if you're going to do it in even 45 minutes, you cannot do it by brisk walking alone. You need to do a little bit of jogging at least. You need to do at least 25% or 30% of the distance you need to do jogging also. So what happens if you do brisk walking, then you can do it in 50-55 minutes. But coming back to the question, it's if you want to enjoy the trek, if you want to enjoy the nature, if you want to enjoy the atmosphere and all, then it's very important that you have to keep yourself fit.
Sure, I think that's a message everyone, every one of us, and that's one area where in our organization, Inspiring Seniors Foundation, we are trying to bring awareness about active and healthy aging, so that people themselves have a beautiful experience of life post retirement.
And quality of life.
Quality of life
becomes very
and then
good.
it's a I mean, it's a pleasure to be a senior rather than to be,
Correct.
having having worked so hard. This is the time to, enjoy.
But I'd like to qualify that if you're financially stable.
Stable, of course.
That's a given.
Yes.
Otherwise,
we in all over. I mean, in our entire population, including the seniors, we unfortunately have a very large segment who's vulnerable, financially vulnerable.
Correct.
But those who are financially okay, they should also be looking after their health to enjoy their wealth and finance and the lifespan as such.
Correct.
Okay, so let's have some rapid questions, right? So we always ask, are you a early riser or a late night owl? What time your mind works the best?
Very early riser. I wake up normally at unearthly hours actually.
Okay, you're shy of telling that?
No, not really shy. Maybe I don't get sleep in the night. That might also be the reason. Maybe I wake up around 3:30, 4 or something like that.
Oh wow. फिर क्या करते हैं?
Sure, I have to prepare for my classes, next
week. Okay, I thought आप meditation, yoga and.
नहीं वो.
That's not your cup of tea.
I used to do, but उसका मतलब everything is over a period of time you either matured or you grow out of it.
Okay.
तो वो सब नहीं करता मैं अपने classes की तैयारी करता हूँ अपने investment देखता हूँ study a little bit about the market what's happening now. Since I said I have recently ventured out into the US markets and all. US market का देखा which is a much more complex market. उनका देखा वहाँ क्या चल रहा है कैसे चल रहा है.
Is your curiosity is there?
Correct.
That gives you a kind of a.
Correct.
Okay. And if you, what would be it? Spend first, save later, or save first and spend later now? At this stage in life.
Let me ask you, what would you say if you were me?
I would say that I'm now into spending spree.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there is, we have one daughter, and with God's grace, she's doing well. So I think it's not. Suddenly we can't change habit of from saving to spending.
Correct.
So it's a transition, and we are making the transition by spending on activities which we like. For example,
I agree.
It could be travel, it could be watching concerts, it could be like that. It's not like becoming extravagant in shopping, which I do not appreciate as such. But then it is spending is what is now also important.
Important is very important. It's very.
Habit नहीं बन रहा है उसका.
ये habit बनेगा मतलब habit बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है ना जिस चीज में आपको spend करना आप कर रहे हो मेरे भी यही था. See, मेरे घर में क्या है myself and my wife we have different nature. मेरा क्या था कि पहले मेरा saving का mentality था ठीक है ना saving. Now we have got the retirement kitty, we have got we are financially secure. अब wife का क्या है कि अभी भी saving mentality है मेरा नहीं.
Most of the seniors are actually stuck in that saving mindset.
No, saving mindset तो फायदा क्या उसको उतना पैसा रख के But it's a very difficult question to answer because what is enough you do not know.
Yes.
What is enough you do not know. ना?
Yeah.
तो क्या होगा कि यार somebody is somebody lives till 80-85 he has to provide for his
of course one doesn't know.
One doesn't know. So that uncertainty is always there. But to answer your question, initially it was for about till about the age of 50, it was saving was a priority. Now spending is not a priority. Spending, like you rightly said, spending on things which you like, not extravagant,
Yes, of course. I think those habits will never go.
Correct.
For our generation, those habits will never go.
Correct.
of being frugal, of being, being
Not frugal, I would say, but you should have all the comforts of life.
Yeah, no, the habit not to spend extravagantly on
Extravagantly,
anything.
yeah.
I mean, we don't have those kind of expensive habits, say for example,
Right.
Yeah. So early retirement, you took, early retirement. And nowadays, people are retiring in 30s, 40s. I mean, young entrepreneurs or young, techpreneurs.
Correct.
And then they are spending time on philanthropy or, other hobbies or setting up more organizations. So is it really the thing to do, or is it overrated or underrated early retirement? Is it being glamorized?
No, it is definitely being glamorized, number one. Number two, I don't see anything wrong with that. A young entrepreneur, let's suppose he has set up a company. Okay. He, feels at 35 years, I want to quit. I want to do something else in life. He sells his company for maybe, crores and crores of rupees, and he feels comfortable. You can see a lot of them in India right now. People who have made
Of course,
money
yeah.
early. Okay. But these guys, it's not that these guys have become these guys have become irrelevant. It's that many of them, they are helping the other startups grow. They have become angel investors, what we call as angel investors. They are investing in other companies, other ideas, and what they are investing. So I wouldn't say they are out of the financial world. It is just that they have transitioned from working themselves. They have made their money. They have made their kitty, and they are helping. See, like we are trying to help the senior citizens. Those guys are helping the young entrepreneurs, succeed in their. That's also equally a noble cause, which they are doing. And some of them put their money where their mouth is, They invest the money in those startups.
Sure.
I think they do retire. They do retire from the business, but they would retire from their business, but they won't retire from the business world, or they won't retire from the financial
From an
world.
active life.
From an active life, yeah.
So you spoke about, so gold, stocks, or real estate. You definitely spoke about real estate, a stick, no. And stocks, of course, you said careful. But I didn't get the sense about gold.
See, gold is a good is a good hedging strategy for stocks. Okay, so you should have some holdings in gold, not in physical gold. Physical gold doesn't know you; it may get stolen. So I would suggest a paper gold, some maybe 20, maybe 15 to 20% of your holdings in paper gold. That would be a good option to offset the risk that you have in stocks. If you look at the markets right now, all the gold stocks are doing very well. Gold ETFs are doing well. Gold mutual funds are doing very well because the stocks are down right now. So it is a good hedging strategy for.
Okay. Hedging ka easy word for our audience.
See, hedging means you are covering your risks. Okay.
De-risking.
So, de-risking basically. Okay.
But
real estate, having said that, Mati, I definitely feel that. See, real estate as an investment is not good, but you need to have a house, roof over your head,
Of course.
तो एक घर तो लेना ही पड़ेगा आपको कहीं ना कहीं जहाँ आप सेटल कर रहे हो. I'm not totally against that. बट उसको 4 घर लेके उसको रखना, उसको मेंटेन करना, उससे रेंट लेना, I don't think it's a very good option.
Okay. And one financial habit you think everyone should start today? Is there anyone which everyone should be having that financial habit? Like saving, investing, spending.
I would say no. I would say
diversifying.
One financial habit that you need to have is should never have your money idle. कई बार क्या होता है कि लोग क्या करते हैं, मेरे पास पैसा आया होगा, कुछ सपोज 1 लाख रुपए पड़ा होगा, सेविंग्स बैंक अकाउंट में महीने महीने तक पड़ा रहता है. एक्चुअली क्या, सेविंग बैंक अकाउंट में आपको 3.5-4% आपको मिलता है. एक्चुअली यू आर लूजिंग मनी. सो टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी रिकॉग्नाइज करना बहुत जरूरी होता है. वो ओनली अ फाइनेंस प्रोफेशनल और अ पर्सन हु इज रेगुलरली एन इन्वेस्टर, ही कैन ओनली टेल यू अबाउट टाइम वैल्यू ऑफ मनी. सो मनी शुड नॉट बी केप्ट आइडल. See, both of us have reached a stage where the money is working for us. We are not doing the work. Money is working for us even when we are sleeping. But having said that, you cannot let the money be idle. It has to be put to use. Okay. And I would say, the earlier you do it, the quicker you do it. When that would happen when you realize the time value of money. So realize the time value of money and do
It
your
should
investment.
never sit idle.
It should never sit idle. Yeah, that's right. Because what I'm saying is that
That's one mantra.
saving investments are all a given, but time value of money also we need to recognize.
Okay. Okay. So now from the, you broke into a small song. I believe you do sing very well Hindi songs. So ये dry subject से shift करते हुए, and why not you explore our seniors with a nice song.
The same song which I mentioned about दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही
ये
फुर्सत
आपका
के रात
favorite
में
गाना है?
नहीं फेवरेट गाना नहीं है somehow it relates to me actually क्योंकि क्या है जब तक हम लोग नौकरी कर रहे थे दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात
Do you have fursat now?
Now I am busy in a different way actually okay but not that busy type which was there
It's less stressful.
yeah less stressful yeah
Okay.
दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन बैठे रहे तसव्वुरे जाना किए हुए दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन दिल ढूंढता है फिर वही फुर्सत के रात दिन.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. I think I haven't come across many chartered accountants who sing. And that too.
This is a result of fire, no?
Oh yes, there is fire in the belly also.
Correct.
I think to have this passion going on. No, I think a chartered accountant, a Tamilian who speaks Hindi, who plays cricket and who sings Hindi song is a very very unique combination. Who goes trekking and whose name is Vijay too, kind of like an Amitabh Bachchan, tall and
Correct.
So it's been it's really nice, great pleasure interacting with you. I'm sure there are many takeaways for our senior members, and your insights were very useful for me. There are a couple of recap points. One is I think which I could also be doing. Let money not sit idle.
Yeah.
I think that was a very very big takeaway for me, and there were many others. And so thank you very much for sharing your insights and experience and your knowledge. I think in the case of financial management, it's such a vast area that we cannot cover everything. So maybe we will have sessions on specific topics later on. And our members also sometimes suggest that what is it that they would like to be involved or addressed by our podcast or by our session. Thank you very much. And to our audience, I would say, if we hope that you also had good takeaways from this session. And if you like the sessions, do keep tuned in and do subscribe to our channel and keep looking for the next episode. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.